Hi everyone, my name is Jazz Cole, and I will today be giving you a demo, more of a review / demo of a recent app that I had found last year, back in 2021. It's a very effective teaching app, and I want to basically give you like an insight of why I love using it. So we're gonna get started. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my phone, and so what I really like about it is that it's a series of like live video streams based on, like, they're just short lessons based on whatever the topic is. So you can go up and you can find what language you want to learn. That's the first thing. They offer German, Spanish, English, and French. I primarily use it for German and French, so as the main thing, but if you need it for Spanish, or if you're learning English, this is also really great. I'm going to just stick to using French for right now. And then the main thing is also in these particular settings is looking at what level you're at. And usually you can find this usually in the section. There are a lot of different features now that are based on curation. So, like, for example, looking at like courses, for example, you can look at the fact that there's 5 different levels: starter, beginner, elementary, intermediate, and advanced. It's, of course, after you get to about like 4 and 5, that's when everything is in the language. So all of the lessons are going to be taught in that language. So I usually keep it at intermediate or higher. I'm going to just go to advanced because why not? And so then also this is actually pretty new, but they actually have a feature where you can like take courses. These are curated. So if you're like looking at the home screen and you're like, all these videos, like, what should I watch? What should I watch first? So the courses, it's based on what level you're at and things you would need to learn. So obviously at advanced, everything is in French. So there's like it's advanced. So of course, everything is going to be in French. So like, for example, looking at things that, normally at this level you would be looking to talk about or to explore. So like, for example, one of the courses I'm almost finished with, but it's geography. And this is literally learning about every single region in France. So like I think there are like 16 regions, and then there are a couple of territories that they have, and you would just go through and just watch like through les régions françaises, Corse. So like at the bottom, you'll see that is Corsica is what we know it as in English. Ile de France, the French island. Then there's also Martinique. There is Martinique, there's Bretagne, Grand Est. I mean, there's all these different regions that are specifically in France, and you just learn about their culture, what food is very common to them. You're learning this in French, but it's culture based. Another one that I think that I've had or been able to look at is like, the environment. So some of these I actually have bookmarked because I've learned about it. I've found it in like the homepage, and I wanted to actually learn it or watch them. But normally you would see them here, and this list of all these, and they're very, very interactive. I really like that they're interactive because they're live, and usually you'll get like a notification somewhere here that says, hey, so and so, whichever teacher is going live and soon with this particular lesson. So you can actually get notifications when it's live, and you can actually participate, directly with the quizzes and all of the lessons with other people. You could also watch the replay, and even the replay is still interactive. You can still take the quizzes and things like that. So it's really up to you. But I like the courses because, you can basically learn, because it's like, here's what you should learn. Here's what you should learn. And I like that, like, their topics are always, as you always will see with the video, as you usually see with the videos, they'll tell you what topic, and they actually have them categorized differently. So obviously with first steps, I don't need to take that because I am way past A1. But these are basic things you would want to learn. Travel essentials. So like if you love traveling, like there's all these different things you would need to know. Like for example, here there's this video on les arrondissements de Paris. These is like the different like arrondissements, they're like districts. So you learn about all the districts, and like that's really important. Especially like in knowing where you are in France, if Paris is where you are planning to go. Paris versus Bruxelles, because obviously Brussels is actually in the French-speaking part of Belgium, so like even comparing cultural differences from like dialects into things, pop culture, things that people will say that's different from what what French people would say. It's just very much you're able to be more diversified in your language than just being able to speak one dialect, so to say. Grammar, of course, pop culture trends like music, and the teachers make them so much fun. Like some of them like actually like dress up. They're like, we're going to talk about like there was like one that was specifically for German, and he's like, yeah, we're going to learn about König Ludwig, like King Ludwig, who was basically he was a German king. So he's like dressed up just so he could talk about this this historical figure. There's foodies corners. You can actually learn about gastronomy. You can learn about food culture. They'll actually, it's really interesting. There's one, this particular teacher right here, she was actually talking about, different Belgian beer, because Belgium, I'll be honest with you, when I was in France, they actually do serve a lot of Belgian beer at bars. So, that's actually pretty cool. Like, especially if you're like really into that. Like what should you watch? Like sometimes they'll have like these curated for you. It also, for the most part, it knows that I have been only using the intermediate and the advanced ones, so it usually curates what I'm looking at. Even current things, like for example, Emily in Paris, tout est faux, everything is wrong. All these different things, like from movies to Bechtel tests, all these different things that are just basically going to help you. Like this is like to learn directions, like like left, right, like different directions. She says on danse, so like she's like, we're dancing, and that's how we're going to learn the directions. So I think that's pretty cool. Sports, especially the Olympics are going on, the Winter Olympics are going on, so they basically talked about that as well. There's like so many different things. They even have Q&As where you can actually live, where you can ask questions. One of the newer features that they've added that I really like is they've added club. So this is actually study sessions. So there are different tutors, and it also will show you based on what level it is. So the first one is les arrondissements de Paris, and that is today at 1:30 p.m. And so basically you can join. It'll tell you 4 out of 5 are left. So there's usually 5 people per group. Les arrondissements de Paris, with Léocadie. So usually, and also she has a heart by her, because normally like at the end of every study session, it'll ask you if you really like that tutor, and you can favorite them so that their study sessions are recommended to you more. So that's the advanced ones, and there's others for different levels, because everyone's working at a different level and they might want to work on different things. Les expressions du printemps, so spring expressions. Souhaiter quelque chose, like wishing for something, talking about the past. So if I wanted to join, I could just tap it, book the study session, and it will tell you at the bottom that you need to watch this stream. Like this video is this study session is over this stream. So you'd watch that, and then you would show up to the study session, and it's a video call, but it's through the app, and it's actually really fun. So you'll see 4 or 5 people, 4 or 5 people, including the tutor. You can use the chat. They can type in the chat and say, hey, we're really excited about, studying about on this, studying something, whatever the topic is. And what you do is when you book the study group, it'll actually send you an email, whichever email you registered with. and it will say, hey, you've confirmed this booking. They give you instructions, and you need to show up at least 5 minutes before the study session. Otherwise, you might lose your spot, because once all 5 spots are taken, then whoever, like the 6th person who wants to join, will be on a wait list. And if one person doesn't show up, then that person on the wait list will be able to go in. So it's usually how it works. And so then they like have like quizzes. They'll be able to have like conversations, especially at the advanced level. Like it's all French. And so like sometimes they'll give you quizzes, like to say, okay, like of like different uses of something. Like there was one that was like on bon versus bien, in terms of like how to use either one. Like how to use the difference between, because both of them mean like good, but like one is more of like a adjective, the other one is more of like a adverb, and like how to use both of them. So sometimes they'll have quizzes and they'll explain why. It's just basically like a tutoring session, like a group tutoring session. This is like the feature I think is like the most like effective, because you can feel like you're learning with real people in real time, and it's not like, oh, like, you know, let me go on Duolingo. I think this is actually a step up from Duolingo, and I actually took this off of our website. Like I took Duolingo off our website, because after, like, that's part of like what we do. You know, what we do here is like, you know, trying to find what better is out there and then sharing it with other people. But I really love this app. It's so interactive, and for me, I paid, you know, when I first started this app, I paid $19.99 for 1 year subscription. So that's pretty affordable, like $20, and you get to use this all year long. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. But yeah, I think it doesn't really get any better than that. I mean, you have access to all of these streams, everything here. And then they also have something that's really new. They have shorts, where it's like, they have little videos of like short videos of how they use certain words or certain topics. You know, they're really interesting to talk about. You can like them. They also have quizzes now, like any quizzes from the actual live streams. You can actually have them and take them on your own, like on your own time. So these are the ones that I've unlocked because I've done the streams. But you can basically go and review these, start quiz, and it will give you like quizzes over what they talked about. But you have to watch the streams before you actually get on these. And the quizzes, what I will say is that, and I will actually do, Dans l'avion. Let's try that one. So with this one, like for example, you know, you'll see the about, obviously what you're learning, but you know, they'll have like lesson notes that pop up, like they'll have images that they might want you to look at. They may have like, you know, just, you know, like the quizzes, they'll pop up here. Then there's a chat feature where you can actually interact with other people who are learning. And then there's also subtitles if you are not completely comfortable. So I'm going to fast forward through this so you can see what some of the quiz lesson material might look like. And like I said, they're like really fun. Like, you know, this is about the plane, but they dress up just to be able to teach you this. You know, like, vous réservez un siège. So that's basically meaning to reserve a place. So that's comprehension. And this is actually, they do polls. So they're like, you know, do you like to check your understanding for the questions? It's like, hey, do you understand what this phrase means? Or they'll get you to interact so that you're actually thinking about how this applies to you. Like, do you usually reserve a seat on your plane? Because I know that actually on planes, there are like really cheap seats where you actually don't have to, you know, you don't reserve your seat. And it says, like, what do you prefer? Le côté hublot. I think there's a window emoji. So I prefer a window seat, which is very true. You know, you like middle seat or le siège couloir, which is like aisle seat. So, you know, like these are polls. So you'll see how many people feel a certain way about those kinds of things. And just fast forwarding through it a little bit is usually you'll also see other quiz questions. Quelle est votre activité préférée? Qu'est-ce que vous buvez? What do you drink? So these are actually more poll questions, but like some, like especially like historical ones or anything related to culture, they will usually ask you like quiz questions where there's a right or wrong answer. And you can usually see how many people answered what. But other ones like this where it's like teaching you about the plane, they might just ask you certain questions so that you can just see if you understood that and just also, like I said, it's just fun. Like, who doesn't love answering like poll questions about like what kind of, about their travel experiences? Like I said, like there's some that are actual quizzes. Like it says here, it says les JO d'hiver, so the Olympics, or Winter Olympics, quiz of winter. Like they actually have quizzes that are specifically for these things, and I think they're really cool. So I really recommend that you check that out. So overall, I think this is a really great app for, my own personal reasons. This is a huge like improvement compared to Duolingo. Of course, it only focuses on 4 languages, which I think is pretty good because like, especially this app is fairly new. I feel like, it would be to their best interest to like start out with 4 main languages and then being able to build out depending on how popular it becomes. But, that's something I really like. It's inexpensive. Like I said, $20 for a whole year's worth of use. Like I said, it's like for language learning, that's like less than like $2 per year. It's about a little bit over $2 per month, so to say. Like I said, you're learning about different topics like history, like pop culture, all kinds of different things that really apply to you, whether you're traveling there or you're actually, just wanting to learn the language. I also think that it's really great for like listening comprehension more than anything else. The study sessions are really great for, being able to practice speaking and listening. So I feel like it doesn't really focus more so on writing and reading, which is probably more so in the beginning, because there's like words on the screen and questions, but I would not say that it's not really great for like written skills like reading and writing, but it's really focusing on oral skills, so that's really good. It's like you get the live experience, because I know Duolingo has like these like tournaments sometimes, but that's just, like I said, you're just answering the same questions like over and over again. And this is more like quizzes. It applies to me. There's so many topics in relation to what I like to, what I'm interested in. I'm learning, more about culture, not just how to say hello, my name is. It's more it's beyond like basic like language learning tools. So I recommend this. I actually have the link like on our website. Like it's recommended, highly recommended, and I also encourage you to download the app. I hope this is helpful, and I hope you try it out. And if you do, like, let me know, and hopefully maybe we might find each other in a study session or something. So talk to you guys soon. Bye.